Hello again, this is Ahmed. Today we'll go over C4 model, another tool in agile modeling. We use it. This is more of an architecture tool. We use it sometimes for discovery. I start working with teams. We look at what they're doing. It's a very effective tool. I recently come to start using it as discovery. Show me what you're working on. C4 is a 4-level. You have a context diagram. You break it down into container diagrams. Each container, we break it down into components diagram. And each component, you can get into it and do the code inside that component as well. So we have context. And before we go into our the ATM example we've been working with, we'll go over just the generic how this. So context is the first level. Imagine we have an APC system. We're building something APC, and we have a user, and we have an admin, and maybe this relation would mostly not belong to, it's sign up. If this is a ride share, it will be order rights. Just a high level of the relation. This will be change settings or permissions. This will have some sort of a back end transaction. Like execute or operate transaction. If this is a payment, this will be the run payment. This is a context level. We give it a notation. Maybe this will be a sys context for ABC, maybe names, authors, just an information here. This again would be a living document. We use it to collaborate. We build it. If you have an existing systems, this is very effective to do the discovery. If you build it with newcomers to the team, it's a very effective tool. Time-wise, it doesn't take long, and it gives you a good higher level instead of throwing these very detailed architecture diagrams into somebody new joining the team, or somebody like myself coming to coach the team. It's easier to do this as we go. So this is context level. Then you take this system into the container level. And in the container, you would have outside is the same. So you imagine this is, what's this? You would have the back end here with the same name of that relation. We need to find out where this going down. So a container will have parts here, and this relation would be coming from one of it. And here you'd have the user, and here you have the admin. Same context outside will stay here. Now we're breaking into this and working in the systems. ABC can be working here with XYZ system, but this is out of scope. I'm taking this to the next level. CDF system. I'm taking this and breaking it down, and this relation would be coming out here. So ABC, so this is XYZ, and this is CDF. That is, we'll figure out where this relation is going into that part. Inside that, you would have an app here for this user maybe to work with. The admin would have a different portal to work with. You would name this as the same relation. So this is sign up, similar to what here. This is the same exact one. Now we're figuring out where exactly inside this system, that container level, what containers inside and the relation go into what container. CDF maybe will have an API. This is another system. Maybe this will work with the same API. With the back end, maybe you have some sort of adapter. And this will go here, and the app will work with this will work here. Maybe you have something in between. that we'll work on. So if you're architecting this discussion is how we're gonna build it. Let's say we don't have this system at all, but we know these things exist. How we're gonna break it inside? And this is, you start architecture within the system you're building. If it's existing, you reflect what exists, and maybe you think of, okay, this is how the future state should be. This is current state, this is future, how I get there. So there is many use cases for this. And again, you would have some sort of context here. This will be container diagram for ABC. Now you take the container to the next level, and it will be the component level. So each of these containers will go, so let's say we'll take the app only, and the app will have this. If you look at the app, has a relation with this thing, which is model maybe, so we would have the model here, and it has the user use it, so that's a user. So that relation sign up will go somewhere here. This is a container level. Again, it will be container, sorry, this is component level, component. Component diagram for app ABC app. So this is for the ABC as a system. App is kind of the part of it. We'll take the app. The app has two relations only. This is this and that, how it will be inside the app. So the app will have a UI, maybe a model, or a business model. Maybe you'd have its own database. And the model will be working with this model, the UI, this will go to the UI, and again you bring in the names from it. So this one is sign up. We did not give a name from the app to the model, which is this relation. It will be update entities, just for an example, and you start identifying the relation between these components. You give it a name. And now you would have, this is a component level. We broke down the system, understanding the context, into what containers in this system, either reflecting an existing or current state, or moving forward, kind of reflecting how it should look like, and from the existing. Like you are architecting a new system. You take each of these containers, break it into components. So you'd have one for the app, one for the API, or this API will have here. So you will end up with another container here for the API, similar to this, and it's like a tree. So before we get into the ETM case, I thought to have the relation between this. The fourth level, which is code, we get to it sometimes as we start designing what's inside the UI. Maybe inside the UI you decide to have controllers, you have some sort of a service layer, you start breaking this down. We'll see how this will work with the ATM as we move on, but the code level is mostly, if you're working with an existing system and you're using this for discovery, somebody like me coming, start working with a team, before I start coaching the team, I understand what are the contexts, what they're doing. This is very effective. Once we end up understand the context, this is what we're working on, this is our area, this is the containers, each container, what's the component. Maybe we go into the code level, maybe not. If an existing system, you already have the classes created, you can generate that from any IDE tool, or maybe the important parts of it. But that will be the next level into that. Similar, you take the UI, have a component, a code level for it, and you have actual classes. And maybe this can relate to what we did with the design class diagram, or the communication diagram, where we had some sort of component. And so this is another modeling tool we did for 2 videos for it, the class design and communication diagram. And these are tools that when I start working in the component level or the code level, I can bring these other tools that kind of speak in the component level, break down the component into classes and how these classes will work together. So, and again, you don't have to document everything. That's if it's an existing system, you can start laying out the classes you wanted to create, what's relevant to what you're building, maybe a higher level, maybe not. Sometimes we do not get into the code at all. But I would see if you're building this new system, you can take the code and do it. Start breaking this using one of the other modeling tools we had. The communication diagram was one of them. The class diagram is another one of them that we had. Another way of more detailed class design. All right. That's kind of a higher level. We get to the next to the ATM example, and hopefully this will add more, but at least I wanted to show the relation between the 3 levels.